Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing one of the best received new watches of the 2021 model year. This is the Tudor Pelagos FXD, created in conjunction with the French Marine Nationale, the Navy. This watch is the latest in a long line of Tudor combat watches created for the French Armed Forces. What makes this special is that it's not a vintage re-edition or a tribute watch of some kind. It is an actual service-issued, modern-day military mechanical watch. The watch you see right here, the one you can buy, is the one the French Navy Commando Hubert Elite Special Ops Unit is actually using. So this timepiece right here is special because it's authentic. 42 millimeters diameter in titanium. It's 14 millimeters thick when you include the strap, which is mandatory, so I'm counting them together. The watch is also 49.8 millimeters lug-to-lug if you just count the spacing, the lugs across the wrist. But as you can see, the strap actually drapes over the edge. So measuring from the outside of the strap on each side, you get a span across the wrist of 51.5 millimeters. And in theory, this is a 22 millimeter spacing per Tudor. I measure at about 22.5, but if you do want to get some sort of custom bit here, that's going to be the size. It's a 22 millimeter, or if you want to go full custom and really unique, 22.5 millimeter lug spacing. Here we have a simple crimping, matching, brushed titanium buckle, and a Velcro closure. There are a couple of different strap options here. Velcro as well as textured blue rubber. I actually like the Velcro because it gives you more range of adjustability, as there are effectively infinite positions when Velcro is considered. You can move it incredibly subtle distances to fine-tune the fit. Taking a look at the case, you can see it's satinated with vintage-inspired pointed crown guards and bevels on the lug profiles, a nod to the era when Rolex and Tudor shared cases and used these features in common. You can also see we have a Tudor shield on a media-blasted crown, and this is one of the rare instances of a modern-day manufacture movement Tudor using a shield on both the crown and the dial. Usually it's a combination of rose and shield. Now, the bezel is unusual, and it is specific to the requests of Commando Hubert. Now, this is a bi-directional timing bezel. You'll also note that it is a count-down timing bezel. So we start at 60, and then we count down all the way to 0. Being bi-directional, it's not a true diving bezel. This is not ISO 6425, but when Commando Hubert decided that it needed a countdown bezel and a bi-directional bezel, Tudor was more than happy to oblige with a custom bit only used on this model. Now, it uses a ceramic insert for scratch resistance, but what you're going to find is that is no impediment to the reading of the time. Tudor is one of the few brands that uses a fully luminescent ceramic bezel, so not only is this calibrated all the way around to the minute in military fashion, that's a long-running military feature, but every single hash mark, index, and numeral is fully legible. You can also see all three hands are loomed, so you know even in the dark, even in the depths, that the watch is running. Plus you can see that this one is inspired by the so-called snowflake submariners of the late 60s and early 70s. Now, the timepiece features a movement inside that is manufacture, and it is a Tudor MT5602 automatic winding with bidirectional action, 70-hour power reserve. It has a hacking seconds function, a 4 Hz or 8 beat per second rate, and it features a full balance bridge and a free-sprung balance for toughness and precise adjustment, an anti-magnetic silicone hairspring, and a COSC Swiss chronometer certification, all of this water-resistant down to 200 meters. The watch does feature a screw-down crown. Here's the hacking function. The movement is made by Kinesi, which is the movement arm of Tudor. And you can see that the dial is actually quite remarkable in that what appear at first glance to be historical style printed numerals are actually solid blocks of luminova placed on top of the dial. You can see there's a lovely sandpaper-like grained finish to the dial surface, and then a Reho outboard that acts as a chaptering against which you can read seconds and minutes both. The watch, of course, a little bit less water-resistant than a standard Pelagos. It also doesn't have the helium escape valve, but that was a specific request of Commando Hubert. basically packaging being more important in this case and keeping the watch reasonably compact. This is a timepiece that has just about everything you could want in a military-inspired timepiece, because not only is it military-inspired, it's the real deal, actually used by amphibious tactical specialists in the French Navy to this day. The watch you see on your wrist could very well be the one they have on their wrists, and I know a lot of folks are going to ask, so I want to just be clear. Each year they change the case back numbering, and this is MN22, so this is the second year of production. I know a lot of folks take that very seriously, and that is an element collectors take into consideration. So if you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Take note, they are fixed lugs. This will not work with standard straps. That's the last thing I want to warn you about. This watch is entirely unique, right down to the strap and the lugs. Again, Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing.